Hey guys, welcome to another math video with Mrs. Hill. Today I am going to show you how to solve equations with variables on both sides of the equation. Take this first example. I'd like you to make sure you're writing it down in your notes, and I'm going to show you a few different ways that you can solve an equation such as this one. First of all, notice that we've got a variable term on both sides of the equal sign. So the first thing I want to do before starting to solve this is to move the variable terms so that they're both on the same side, both on one side of the equation. So I have a choice. I can either move the 10n over here to the left, or I can move the 7n over here to the right. It doesn't matter which one you do. I like to move my variable terms over to the left because then at the end I'll have my answer as n equals or x equals. I'll have the variable on the left being able to read it from left to right. So I'm going to go ahead and move the 10n. Now it's not okay to just simply pick it up and add it over here. I have to make sure I'm following the steps to solving equations. So I'm going to undo it. I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to subtract 10n from this side. That will effectively remove it. 10n minus 10n gives me 0. And then do the same thing over here. Subtract 10n. Simplify my equation. I now have 7n minus 10n, which is negative 3n minus 5 equals 13. Now that I have moved the variable term, and I only have one variable term in my equation, I can solve it as a normal two-step equation. So I would just add 5 to both sides. Always do the adding or subtracting first when you're solving equations, because remember, we're undoing PEMDAS. We're undoing the order of operation. So I'm going to add first. That removes the 5, and that over here would give me 18. And then I've got negative 3n. Here comes my second step. To show my work, I would divide both sides by negative 3, because dividing is the opposite of multiplication. That will cancel out the negative 3's. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is 1, and that's what I want, 1n to be alone. And whatever I do on one side, I must do to the other. Divide this side by negative 3, and 18 divided by negative 3 is negative 6. So that is my solution. Let's go check and see if that works. So I'm going to plug in negative 6 for n and see if my equation balances. 10 times negative 6 plus 13. And I'm just going to check to see if my solution is correct. So 7 times 6 times negative 6 is negative 42 minus 5, and negative 42 minus 5 is negative 47. Let's check and see if this side equals negative 47 also. So 10 times negative 6 is negative 60, and negative 60 plus 13, I'm going to subtract these two, and I do indeed get negative 47. So my check works. I did the problem correctly. Let me show you one more. Look at one more example. Make sure you're writing this down. 7y plus 8 equals 4y minus 10. Right, again, there's several ways that you could show your work to solve this problem. I'm showing you how to combine the variable terms onto one side of the equation and then proceed to solve it as a two or multi-step equation. In this one, I'm going to move the 4y, and I'm going to move it over here to the left. I'm going to do that by subtracting it here. That will remove it from this side, and do the same thing over here. So subtract 4y over here, and I simplify, and I've got 3y plus, just bring down that 8, equals, and over here I have this negative 10. Be careful about your signs. It was subtracting 10, which means it's negative 10. Now I have a simple two-step equation. I will minus 8 from both sides. That cancels, and I've got 3y equals negative 18. And then I divide both sides by positive 3. And that will cancel. Y is now alone, isolated. That's what I wanted. And y equals negative 6. You can go back and plug in the negative 6 and see if it works. If I were to plug in negative 6 for y, I'm going to do this check mentally and show you how I can do that. So 7 times negative 6 is negative 42, and negative 42 plus 8 will give me negative 34. And then on this side, I've got 4 times negative 6, which is negative 24, minus 10, which would indeed also give me negative 34. So negative 6 is the correct solution to that. All right, go back, watch those again if you need to. Watch them slowly, make sure you have it all copied down. And when you are ready, I'd like you to try these 4 problems on your own. Pause the video, and when you're finished, unpause and we'll check your work. Okay, let's go over your work and see if you understand how to solve equations with variables on both sides. So, first one, I'm going to move the 9m from both sides, 9m. That cancels, and I'll have 4m minus 22 equals negative 6. Okay, let's go over here. 4m minus 22 equals negative 6. I'm going to add 22 to both sides. That will cancel that. And I've got 4m equals, what do I get there? Positive 16. Divide both sides by 4. And m equals 4. How'd you do? Okay, let's check the second one. This one, I'll move the 14c from both sides. Okay, that'll combine it over here on the left. And that'll give me 5c plus 26 equals 41. Okay, let's continue that over here. 5c plus 26 equals 41. So I'll minus 26 from both sides here. And that will be 5c. And over here I'll get 15. And then divide both sides by 5. And c equals 3. That's the answer to the second one. Okay, let's go over those last two. See how you did. 15 minus 4x equals 42 minus 7x. Okay, so in this one I will add 7x. This one's a little different to both sides. A little bit different because my variable term is the second term on both sides here. So that will cancel that out. And I'll have 15 plus negative 4x plus 7x is 3x equals 42. Okay, I'll now move the 15. Always do the adding or subtracting first from both sides. And then I have 3x equaling, what will that give me, 27. And then I divide both sides by 3. And x equals 9. Get that one right? Okay, let's check over the last problem. See how you did on that one? Move it up here. Again, I want to move the variable term over to the left, so I'm going to minus 6a. That will effectively move it from that side. Minus 6a from this side. Okay, that'll give me negative 11a plus 6 equals negative 38. All right, now I'm going to minus 6 from both sides. And that will give me negative 11a equals, over here I'll have negative 44. Let me rewrite that one so you can see that clearly. And my last step is to do any multiplication or division to undo that. So I'm going to undo this multiplication by dividing both sides by negative 11. That will cancel. Negative 11 divided by negative 11 is 1. 1a is the same thing as a. And negative divided by negative is positive. And that will be positive 4. All right, so that is a few examples of how to solve equations with variables on both sides. Bring all your notes tomorrow and we'll practice again. See you then.